Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Explainer. If you're gearing up for your GCSE religious studies exams and you're looking for that ultimate revision tool, well, you've come to exactly the right place. Today, we're tackling a topic that honestly trips a lot of students up, and that's the Jewish afterlife. So grab your revision cards, get your highlighters ready, because we're going to break this whole thing down step by step. We want to make sure you have absolutely everything you need to just ace those essay questions.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the exam concept map we'll be covering today, just so you know exactly how to structure your notes. We're going to start with the afterlife paradox, then we'll move into some key terms to know, look at the missing Torah specifics, discuss mitzvah and the present, and then we'll finish off with a really brilliant Mishnah analogy.
Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the afterlife paradox, focusing on today.
You know, when we're studying different worldviews, it's super easy to assume that everyone is hyper-focused on what happens next. But here, we actually need to make a major conceptual shift. Why is the Jewish afterlife mostly about this life? I mean, it sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? But this is literally your foundational concept for this topic. Rather than intensely debating the specifics of the hereafter, the theological lens in Judaism is zoomed right in on the here and now. Let's look at the vocabulary you're going to need to explain this in your exam.
Moving on to Section 2, Key Terms to Know. This is your essential exam vocabulary.
Get your pens ready because using these Hebrew terms accurately is exactly what examiners are looking for. First up is Olam Haba, which translates to the world to come. Now, this term is used to refer to a person's afterlife, and it's also used for the Messianic age. And while there are definitely a lot of different interpretations out there about what it actually entails, your core exam takeaway is this. All the different views share one core belief, and that is that the focus should remain entirely on this present life, rather than obsessing over Olam Haba.
Let's move to our next term and see how this builds. We have Sheol. Now, Scripture actually mentions Sheol as a physical place that a person goes down to following this life. For example, in the book of Genesis, Jacob speaks of going down to Sheol in mourning. But, and here's the critical part you need to remember for those essays, its exact nature, like what it actually looks like and who exactly goes there, is left entirely unclear in the texts. It's a really ambiguous destination, and that contrasts heavily with the much broader spiritual concept of Olam Haba.
Which brings us to Section 3, the missing Torah specifics, and why interpretations vary. Now, what's really interesting here is the contrast. You might be wondering, well, why is Sheol so blurry? Why isn't there just one unified map of the afterlife? And it all comes down to the Torah itself. Because while the Torah does reference Sheol, it has absolutely no specific teachings about the afterlife. None. And because of this lack of a strict roadmap, later Jewish beliefs rely heavily on interpretation. This leads to two main views you absolutely must know for your exam. First, Orthodox Jews generally believe in a literal bodily resurrection, and they'll often back this up with scripture, like Daniel 12:2, which speaks of those sleeping in the dust awaking. On the flip side, Reform Jews largely reject that literal resurrection. They tend to interpret the afterlife spiritually, or they believe that individuals live on primarily through their legacy and the memories of the people who loved them.
Okay, Section 4, mitzvah and the present. Essentially, living a good life.
Let's pull our focus away from all the mysteries of the unknown and bring it back down to earth, to practical application. According to the texts, there are two primary reasons why the afterlife just isn't the main event. First off, preparing for the world to come literally means living a good life now. That's the priority. Second, the ways of God are viewed as being completely beyond human understanding, so trying to map out heaven is just kind of pointless. Instead, daily life is guided by studying the Torah and observing the mitzvot. Those are the 613 commandments. And these mitzvot provide a really direct, actionable framework for everything, from how you treat other people to how you worship. It roots a person's faith in tangible, present-day actions.
So, the absolutely crucial point is this. Seriously, please heavily underline this in your notes. Observing mitzvot does not earn you a better afterlife. Judaism is simply not focused on the question of how to get a better afterlife. It is entirely focused on how to live right now. It's not some transactional system, you know? You don't do good deeds just to buy a VIP ticket to a better place in heaven. And finally, Section 5, the Mishnah analogy, the lobby and the banquet.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole thing. For our final section, I'm going to give you the perfect primary source quote to help you secure those top marks in your essays. The Mishnah brilliantly captures everything we've been talking about, stating, "This world is like a lobby before the Olam Haba. Prepare yourself in the lobby so that you may enter the banquet hall." Now, I'm going to read that slowly one more time just to give you some ample breathing room to get it written down word for word. This world is like a lobby before the Olam Haba. Prepare yourself in the lobby so that you may enter the banquet hall. It is just a stunning metaphor that perfectly captures the relationship between the present life and the world to come.
So, as we wrap up our revision session today, I really want to leave you reflecting on this question. If the banquet hall, the afterlife, is ultimately a mystery, how does treating today like the lobby actually change your daily actions? When you realize that the goal isn't necessarily to decipher the banquet hall, but to ensure you're preparing well right now through studying the Torah and observing the mitzvahs, well, it brings immense, profound meaning to your everyday actions, doesn't it? It centers you right here in the present. So keep this focus in mind as you study. Best of luck with your GCSE preparation, and I will see you in the next explainer.